so first step to kind of starting all this is we need to get some of this speaker wire here actually to under here, because there's really no space in here to mount the crossover that we have. So we are actually going to mount the crossover underneath here. We also want to mount the crossover underneath there because once we add the amp and everything, we're going to need to run more wire. So there's no point in pulling off all this paneling again. So it just makes everything easier. So basically this is your wiring harness for the speaker. We're going to pull the wire through. This kind of gray and white, or kind of purpley and white, that's your positive wire on both sides. So I have heard that some bands are different, but for us and everything, we found this is your positive wire here. So basically you're gonna have to cut the harness here, and there is actually a clip that you can pull off here and then feed it out and through, and that seems to be the easiest. But essentially right now we're going to loosen all this off and pull the wire through so that we can wire up the crossover down here. So right now we just basically strip back a piece of the wire so that we can connect the two wires, weaving them together, and then we have some shrink wrap on there as well that we're going to put on, and then we'll also solder those together, and then that way we can run the tweeter wire down from the tweeter spot down to the wheel well, which is where we're going to be mounting the crossover. So I'm just showing you how we're doing that right now. So they do have a shrink wrap that has a soldering shrink wrap. We couldn't find that where we were, so we were just actually soldering it ourselves. But if you wanted to get rid of a step, you could get the soldering shrink wrap. Alright, so on to step 3. The Focal tweeters don't fit into the stock mount, and kind of playing around with it, we realized even when the tweeter is down there, it kind of gave it a weird hollow sound, so it kind of like down into that pocket. We just found it didn't sound quite as good, so basically we just drilled a hole into the stock grill and then mounted the tweeter mounts on top of it. But we have them angled, and I'll show you on this one. We have it angled kind of forward and out a bit so that it kind of is projecting more at you, because we found it actually sounded quite a bit better if you even had it to this A-frame, but this is an airbag, so I'm not gonna mess with that. So we just put it in the stock spot, put a hole there, and then just had it mounted pointing at us. It doesn't look as clean, but I did find it sounded better, so each to their own. You can do that, you can not, but that's basically what it looks like here. So, like I said, you just drill a hole in so that you can get the wire through, and then use the mount that they have to put it into there, and then we just clip it in, and then you just have to feed the wire through and down towards your crossover. Okay, so now that the tweeter is in, as you can see, again, it's kind of just mounted pointing towards the driver. So, like I said, we thought that it sounded better, so that's what we went with. Do what you want. Now we have run a speaker wire from under the dash where we're going to mount the crossover to through the door. So you have to run it through kind of that little rubber gasket there where all the wire harnesses are. And again, through under there, because we're going to mount the crossover down there. And then we run it to where the speaker is going to be. Alright, so now that we have the wires ran, we're just setting up the crossover. So as I said, in this 2019 Sprinter, the purpley kind of grayish wire with the white on it, that is going to be your positive, and then the green is going to be your negative. So we're actually just wiring that in right now into the crossover. So as you can see, it's pretty easy once you're looking at the crossover. It's just plus, negative, and then it'll say like, you know, tweeter, woofer, or indication for like the head unit. So as you can see, I'll try to get in there. We're just doing that, and then now he's just doing the speaker wire as well. So we're wiring in for the woofer and then the tweeter. And when you're running your own wire, you can kind of decide what you want for positive or negative. And so we have just allotted that copper is our positive, and then the silver is our negative. So that was the woofer there that he just wired in, and then to the right of that he has the head unit wiring, and now he's about to do the speaker wiring as well. So So we now mounted the crossover. So like I said, we just mounted it there on the wheel well, tucked away from everything, and then with the wires facing out so that we can access them later for if we need to adjust anything or change anything. So we just used heavy duty double-sided tape to mount it down. You can use kind of whatever you want. We also considered Velcro, but we found double-sided tape, so that's what we used. So there you can see there, and then now we just have to do the speaker, and then we are done. So one of the biggest problems that we actually ran into with trying to put the new speakers in is that Mercedes, the way that they're mounted, this universal ring here doesn't match up with the holes because the holes stick out beyond. So you can buy adapter rings, but being that most of them are made in the States, it was going to take quite a while for us to get them. Plus, you're going to drop, anywhere from $50 to $100+ to get them. So we decided to just take these cheap speakers that we will never do anything with, and probably no one will ever want again because they're pieces of crap. And we're going to use this as our adapter ring. So essentially, what we do is cut out the speaker itself and then Dremel out all of this, so that we can actually take this and it will then drop into that speaker, and basically this ring will just sit there. So we're going to show you how we do that right now. There, so basically now you have your adapter ring. Obviously we need to clean it up a little bit, but you now have an adapter ring. The old speakers are obviously garbage, but you can now mount that onto the back of your speaker, and it doesn't add any depth to it. So even though our speakers, which are a 2.5-inch depth, it will fit in there. I would say you probably couldn't get much deeper of a speaker. I have seen online a few people say that you can't have anything more than 2.25, but ours are 2.5 and it does fit, so. So you now have an adapter ring that you can now mount to your speaker. So we'll show you now how to do that. And then it is time to mount in your speaker and enjoy your new sound system. So now we are ready to wire in the speaker. I apologize, we're losing some sunlight here, so we got this ugly looking light on here, but yeah, we are now ready to wire in the speaker. So he's just stripping back some of the wire there, and then he will wire it in, and then basically put the door back on and ready to enjoy. Is on, so you can see retain the stock grill and everything, so it still looks stock, but the speaker underneath is anything but stock.
make it fun. Then we mash up the place, turn up the bass and make some sound. Why run? And we will